When we look at the brain design and when we look at the process that's happening, we need to understand that every fingerprint that we have could be similar to thousands and millions of other people, but the combinations, the ridge count, the pattern on each finger could have variations. So when different people are looking at this program for more of self-analysis, self-healing, self-help, then definitely they will look at it differently. So in spite of having analyzed how you capture your fingerprints, how you work on the score, and then how you come to the basic interpretations, we also need to understand a few other things. So coming to the application part of the brain design program, it is very important that you understand yourself better. You understand about the different brain patterns and the way in which we have captured the fingerprints, the way we have analyzed it, the way we are interpreting it. We also need to look at it from the environmental or the context that we are living in. Before you start applying what you have learned, it is very important that you identify what you are looking for, why you are looking for it. Because if you look at the challenges that are being faced, what is the challenges that you're facing? Is it personal, physical, psychological, or professional? Unless you identify what you are actually trying to change in yourself, you must be clear what you are going to look for and how you are going to look for it. So the first point is understanding the environmental factors, like, for example, the stage of life that you are in. Are you a child? Are you an adolescent? Are you an adult? Are you in the middle age or are you in the old age? The same brain score, the same brain analysis that we are doing would appear differently in each of these stages. If you are a child, you need to use it on, what are the milestones, how to lay a foundation for the child, how to discipline the child, how to use it on academics. But if the analysis is being done for an adolescent, then you have to know how to look at the behavior, education, the addictions, what skills they have. If it is with regard to adulthood, then looking at understanding the brain analysis and applying it to the job, career, marriage, settlement, identity, stuff like that. And if you're applying it to middle age, then it will be looking at more of, career growth, the family, security, the networking that you're doing. And if it is to do with old age, then it's to do about accomplishment, having achieved what you want in life. What is the extended family, what kind of relationships you have, what are you doing with retirement, things like that. So understanding the stage of life is also very important when we are doing the analysis. Understanding the birth order is also very important because the position you hold in your family influences the way you look at yourself or the way a person looks at themselves. So if they are the only child, they are more, pampered, cared for, feel safe, secure, maybe at times a little selfish because they are so used to being the center of attraction. But if you're the first child or the eldest child, invariably what happens is that this child is brought up to be, very royal, feel very great, same like the only child, very pampered, cared, feel safe, secure, all this. But suddenly they feel let down when the second child enters the family because they have to share the attention with the second child. So, they are given more of responsibilities, very inhibited because they are not allowed freedom to do what they did before. So when the second child comes in, the second child never feels special because there's already another child before them. So they don't get that kind of pampered, cared, safe feeling. And these are people who are sandwiched, isolated. They have a lot of feelings, but they don't share it because there is another child to share the attention even before they have entered the world. And when you compare that to the third child, these children are very clever because they are very smart and make sure that what the first and second child did not do or did and got a punishment for, they would try to avoid it. So these are people who are very bossy, very clever. They know that they are very special, being the youngest. And then they start becoming very independent and they know how to get their way. Where the first child would always be given responsibilities, the second child would be given attention but not enough, and the third child would walk away with the cream. So it depends on what kind of a family composition you come from when you are analyzing the psychology of that person. There are other important criteria also that you need to look at when you're analyzing a person or analyzing yourself. You need to see what is your position, what are the areas of challenge. What is the education? Are you educated, uneducated, professional? So the education also makes a big difference in a person's life. The profession that they have, how much of remuneration they're getting or not getting would also influence the way you're looking at life. The marital status, whether you are single, married, divorced or separated, would again color your vision of life. And the family from where you come or where you are right now, whether it's a joint family, dysfunctional family, also influences the way in which your brain is processing information. Another criteria that is very important when we are analyzing brain design is that you need to understand which kind of a lifestyle you have. And so the kind of problems that you have will vary depending on which kind of income group that you belong to. And another very important factor is the composition of the family. Where are you now? And if you look at a woman, she was brought up in a joint family but now she's a nuclear family, or she was brought up in a nuclear family but now she's in a joint family. So it depends on understanding what are the family types that you led before and after marriage. This also influences the way in which your brain accepts information or processes information. It's also very important that when you're doing a self-analysis, you need to look at your past. What are the challenges that you have encountered? So when you are analyzing yourself or anyone else, you have to take into account the history of that person or yourself. Has there been any trauma in early childhood? Has there been abuse? Have there been different noteworthy incidents or accidents that have happened? Any failures that have been, predominant on your mind? What kind of deficiencies you've had? What are the parenting patterns? How were you taken care of? What are the insecurities you have from childhood? So this understanding the past is also very, very important to analyze one particular person. In the same way, what is the expectations of the future? What kind of a lifestyle you want to have? So, people are triggered by the fear of failure, the lack of control, lack of focus. There's a lot of pressure for achievement, the need for name and fame. So these are also limiting factors which will influence your brain analysis, because you will look at the world from that or this perspective. Hence, in order to be very clear for analysis, either self-analysis or analysis of another person, there are 5 basic steps. First, understanding the demographic details from where a person comes, details about the person's lifestyle. Second, understanding the fingerprint patterns and identifying what kind of patterns on each of those fingers. Third, understanding the ridge count calculation and how to process the information about the ridges. Fourth, there are 5 basic categories that we've done, so the calculations for each of those 5 categories. And fifth, then analyzing and creating a report which is very personalized to an individual based on the demographic details and the patterns and the ridge count. So to conclude, we can understand that patterns indicate psychology. If we understand the 9 basic kind of patterns, we will understand the basic psychology of a person. We understand though there are 9 patterns, it is 8 patterns which are predominant, the 9th being accidental. So if you look at the 8 patterns, you can understand that they are directly showing our personality, and this has been designed in the mother's womb based on the mother's thoughts and the genes. We have discussed about the neural speed. We have understood that there are 5 different kinds of speed and each one of them are unique in their own way. We have discussed brain dominance, whether you are left brain or right brain, whether you have divergent thinking or convergent thinking, what are the brain connections, meaning the 5 lobes and what they actually mean. We then looked at the brain hemispheres. the 10 fingers, each connected to 10 parts of the brain and thereby influencing the 10 functions of the brain. Having looked at this overall, you are now equipped to understand your brain design, and you will be able to help other people in your family by understanding their brain design, and you will be able to do an analysis for them. If you have any doubt or if you want more clarification with regard to certain specific areas of your life, you can get your own personalized session by calling this number. And the brain design is very important to connect the dots and to create a story, because only when you make meaning out of life can you actually function effectively. You can get your personalized analysis done. You can call 98487 40000 for a personalized session on your brain.